ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, everybody who comes here every Wednesday. You come here every Wednesday because you know what time it is. It's the Bold Prediction Sports Media Podcast, and as tradition, I'm that dude with the beard. He's Mr. KC, and it's playoff football. It's the divisional round, and if you can see it already, we're already in the spirit. We're channeling that inner champion to get this back-to-back series going. Mr. KC, how you doing on this fine Wednesday?
Oh, enjoying this Florida weather. I'm sure everybody else around the country is just dreaming of such dreams. You know, I'm out here living the Denver Broncos life, just in the sunny Cancun type area, where you get a lot of sunshine on vacation.
Yeah, without a doubt. And there was almost every team in Florida on vacation until this past weekend, and the boy Baker Mayfield. Ooh wee! I know you was loving it, Big Baker doing this thing, man. I know you loved it.
Man, how could you not love it? Look, this is, and the Browns lost. So they made it like a double whammy in the face of the Browns organization. Look, you're seeing the quarterback that you drafted him. You spent the crazy draft capital on Baker Mayfield. You said, you know what? I understand you're the first person in 20 quarterbacks to take this team to the playoffs, but we don't believe in you. We don't believe in you. You're trash. We're getting Deshaun Watson. We get a real quarterback. This team will really compete. We got Mahomes to worry about. We can't do it with Baker. But Tampa can. Flacco can. But I don't know if Watson. I don't know if Watson can. So shout out Baker for proving all the haters wrong. Look, this was a big playoff. Not only appearance. We ain't even just talking appearance. We're talking about playoff win for Baker Mayfield.
And I'm right there with you. For most of the reasons you said, and this further solidifies my take on the Deshaun Watson, the worst trade in NFL history. Like we're seeing the fruits of it. Not only is Houston on their way to the divisional round with everything that you gave them, I mean, fully loaded, dang there, and then you turn around and you look across the horizon down in sunny Florida and you see Baker Mayfield leading the Buccaneers to a huge win over a team who, well, we talked about it all year. You know how I feel about it. I felt like they never had it. And the Buccaneers showed us that they didn't. Like I said, this was a team that was in disbelief for months. And then once A.J. Brown said he was done pretty much, because I'm pretty sure that was the case, then you knew it was over.
Yeah, sadly enough, between A.J. Brown being gone and that old finger of Jalen Hurts that looked like that bad boy was broken,
It
super
was broke,
broken. Yeah,
without a doubt.
that's a bad combination. You got a quarterback that can't throw the ball, and he ain't got nobody to throw it to if he could. So what are you really supposed to do with that?
What can you do with it besides nothing? Besides lose like they did. So there's that. But shout out to Jason Kelsey, phenomenal career, Philadelphia Eagle. Um, Big shout out to everybody who actually showed up and played. Um, Another diss on, I mean, because it's the Eagles. Nick Sirianni. I just remember leaving Arrowhead like he won the Super Bowl. See ya,
Mm.
screaming it all the way down the tunnel. And now look at you. See ya out the playoffs. You can
I
watch
think
this again this weekend, Nick. Hey, look. It's just what it is, man. We
I'm
knew them
pretty
Eagles couldn't
sure.
fly too long.
Pretty sure he's 1-6 since he went and did that. Since he was
Man,
all celebrating about his regular season win, he went on a 1-6 streak after that. And there's a lot of people that are mad that Jason Kelsey retired immediately after the game, and some kind of were pointing towards him as the reason. They're kind of like, "Hey, how are we letting Jason Kelsey go out like this?" This isn't how Jason Kelsey is supposed to retire. Supposed to retire putting a ring on his finger, or at least, not not to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, not to the NFC South, not to the charity division, not to the how in the hell do they make the playoffs, not to the bottom feeders of the NFL, not to the worst division in football. Like, not to them. You can't do that to them. Like, what are we talking about here? It's just disgusting.
Thoroughly. But like I said, I mean, the Eagles just they don't have it. Like I said, they never had it, and it's no coincidence. I mean, it starts with the quarterback. I mean, it starts with the coach actually, and then quarterback. When you got two people who aren't really top tier, but the media really thrusted them into the spotlight, especially after last year when they had the cakewalk to the Super Bowl because they didn't play nobody. Just like how they had a cakewalk to the playoffs because they hardly played anybody this season. But everything, the facade started to unravel, and we really started to see who they were. And so, in regards to everything Philadelphia Eagle like, fly Eagle fly, whatever, that thing is done. Them feathers is plucked. Um, I knew it when they lost to Seattle. Like I said, that thing, it was over for them, and it's just what it is. Sorry, see ya.
Yeah,
See you next Sirianni. Good night.
yeah, and that's an early
And
retirement party for him.
and it's no coincidence that both the Alabama quarterbacks lost this weekend, and you got an Alabama quarterback. Like I said, I mean, proven history that they're not really commodities. You might overpay, so we'll just see what happens, how things go going forward. That's all I'll say on that. And Tua. We'll see if you have a
Yeah.
job next year, man. Maybe they draft your little brother. Who knows? We'll see.
Well, I think the problem is they're going to stick with Tua, and that's the problem. And my thing is if you look at that team, there's you can take Tyreek Hill off that team, and it's still an extremely talented team,
Yeah, for sure.
except for a quarterback, and that's why you're not threatened by the Dolphins without Tyreek Hill. And let's face it, if you're a legitimate football team, if the only threat is Hill, you know how to shut that down. You can shut down
Man.
one guy. And if the quarterback is so dependent on one player, like we've seen in the playoffs for his success, you're not doing it. The defense was banged up. Look, if that defense was put together, it might have been a better game. If Miami had all their pieces there, I could see it being better. But it's no excuse for Tua to have one touchdown. And the only reason he got that touchdown is because he got it to Tyreek Hill. Like, let's be honest, it was the one time Tyreek Hill managed to beat the press off the line and actually perform and do something. I mean, it was wild
But he almost
how
lost that
badly
play
he
too.
was shut down in that game.
Right. He almost lost that play too. But like I said, I mean, it just seemed like they were supposed to get that score there. It was the first weird kick of the game, kind of squib kick. I mean, short field. Yeah. Like I said, it was the points that they had to give them, so it wouldn't have been 29-0. It needed to look better, at least on the papers and everything. USA Today, they wanted to at least see some points on there, you know.
Yeah, yeah, skunking them
So,
is a bad look. It's a real bad look. But man,
yeah.
Miami going to Kansas City in that weather just spelled disaster. Like I look, it was 45 degrees this morning, and I cannot tell you how unbelievably cold I was. Like with the 45 degrees, it actually might as well have been -4. Okay, like I felt the temperature in my heart. I'd have
Uh-oh.
been a 50-degree difference there, but I felt it.
We had lost you for a second. We heard you say you felt it in your heart, and then you disappeared for a second, Mr. Casey.
Oh yeah, I was just saying that cold temperature. I felt it in my heart, 45 degrees. It let me know what Tyreek Hill was experiencing out there in Kansas City.
Well, yeah, it had to let us know. It must have been that blackout code because it took you right out. Said, "Whoop, shit, this is how cold." But no, it's been so cold here in the single digits and negatives. Today it got up to about 33, and it almost felt warm. I mean, of course it's still cold, but dude, when you've been going through those treacherous stretches that we just went through, I just read that 13 about well, it said dozens, but 13 from what I've seen confirmed. It might be more. People got hypothermia at the game, but I just figured it was those idiot Miami fans who was all you seen the guy no shirt on. I was like, you know exactly what I'm talking. Everybody's seen
Yeah.
the guy. Like I'm sure he was the lead case. Like you come to Kansas City, you take your clothes off because you're drunk. This ain't Miami, man.
No, no, this ain't a sunburn, bro. You're losing toes.
Ooh,
Like,
man.
yeah,
I don't,
yeah,
I don't think there's ever a Chiefs game where you can really do. I mean, you could do it, but I don't. There ain't really too many Chiefs games that are just hot like Miami weather that you can be like, okay, yeah, this is the perfect plan. You know?
yeah. And I went to that Titans game that was the coldest Chiefs game before this one, and it was the first time I ever left a game early. Like we left at the beginning of the fourth quarter, we was done. It was tap out time. Like, look, it's either watch the Chiefs lose to the Titans and lose a toe, or go home, with my
Right.
toes. And I kept it. It was like we'll keep our toes this time.
Right.
It's okay. Like,
No,
it
I
was.
understand. Like I said, we die hard Chiefs fans, but I'm not gonna die for the Chiefs. So there's that.
Yeah, it's a slight difference.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it was an incredible wild card round. Especially touch on this next game. Well, not this last game, but a game I want to talk about real quick. The Lions and the Rams. Who, like I said, I had picked the Rams to be my NFC Super Bowl pick, and like I said, until they lost. So I feel like I got to do a quick
We,
update before we really jump into picks.
we do
And
need a new. We do need a new victim.
he said a new victim. If that's the case here, if we think we're going with bad mojo with who I pick, it might have to be those Niners. But no, I'm going with Green Bay now. I'm going with Green Bay until I can't no more.
Well,
Until I can't no more.
it was nice seeing you, Green Bay. It was great. It was
Shout
great
out to
having you.
Jordan Love. Shout out to
Mm.
everybody. Hey, we've already seen it. We know what's going down. Jordan Love coming in, airing this thing out. And Brock Purdy better come ready, man. That's all I got to say.
I really turned off that watch party at halftime. It was like that score got so ugly that there was nothing else to watch. Okay, like there
Nothing
was
else to watch.
we look, we know what's happening. Like, go ahead, schedule the next game. Like, what do we like? Everybody that built it was like, we could just hit fast forward if you don't mind. Like,
Mhm.
my ticket to Cancun is actually coming up, and like, I can hang out in the Delta Lounge if I need to. Like, they got
Oh,
they
yeah.
got great coffee, great coffee out there.
Oh, yeah. Tyreek Hill was probably waiting on a few players at the airport. You see, what did he say? Sneed jammed him all the way to Cancun.
Cancun. No,
So,
and you
yeah,
going to
man.
Miami and not Cancun, bro. Don't lie. I
Yeah.
gotta go to Miami than Cancun too.
All I know is it don't matter, but Brock Purdy and them about to be at their destination here soon, some vacation spot after Jordan Love come to town. Man, look you. How good did he look in that game, man? Can we just acknowledge that for a second? How
I
good
mean,
Jordan Love looked. He amazing against that defense. Amazing. And like I said, I don't think there's too much of a parallel difference between the Niners defense. If anything, I want to say the Niners got weaker corners, and if they get
I mean,
after like they did, good
my
night.
problem is you said against that defense, and I didn't see a defense of nothing nowhere, so I don't know what defense you're talking about that he just excelled
Right.
against. I seen some players that surrounded Michael Parsons. Like I seen that. I saw those plays, but besides that, I didn't see no defensive snaps. It was all. Hmm. There was like a good hard training camp there for old Jordan Love. It's all right. It was
Oh,
like
good.
Talking about a
I
bad
loved
pick.
it. I loved every minute because, like, my sister was a diehard fan, and I knew
Mm,
once they lost that about that text message was just waiting. I had the draft all written. I was
mm.
just waiting for it to hit zeros, and bloop, it was well on its way. And she was like, and she was like, I knew you was coming. I was just waiting on. It. I said, I tried to tell you, man. It's the same story. All what was that old Humpty Hump song? All around the world, same song. It's don't
Right.
even matter. It's the same thing, baby. We know what time it is. Like the Bengals gonna bingle. I guess they really ain't them
Them
boys.
boys,
So
them boys, them boys are, them boys are just little boys.
right, but they let the boys be boys. Oh,
Yeah, let the boys be boys while men continue to play football.
because them men trolloped them boys. Like it was like what they say. The meme that goes around the Instagram says when your drunk uncle takes the football game too serious at the family
Mm.
fun. It was like that. They was all trash them dudes, man. And I loved every minute of it. So, like I said, shout out to Jordan Love and the Packers, man. Um, in my book, Jordan, you're A1, man. Like I said, beginning of the season, preseason, we talked about you. I said the jury was out. I had to see what you could do because I believed in you. I seen you play Patrick a close game before when Aaron ducked him the third time, so I knew you could play a little bit. This year's full circle, full time. I love to see it. Like to see progression, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Pull up this schedule. Wow. And ladies and gentlemen, let's dive on into the divisional round here. Let's talk about it here. The first game we got going on Saturday, January the 20th. The first game on the slate, the 3:20, the afternoon game, which might be a slobber knocker. It's the Houston Texans versus the Baltimore Ravens. Big trust, Lamar Jackson,
Mm.
probably the MVP, versus my boy CJ Stroud from the Ohio State University. Undisputed rookie of the year, should be at least offensive rookie of the year without a shadow of a doubt.
Oh,
Um,
he's the rookie of the year.
yeah, he's got to be. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about it. No doubt about it. Shout out to you, CJ. Like I said, I ain't a Texans fan, but I'm a Texans fan as long as CJ Stroud is there. That's my
Mm.
guy. Um, but going into this game, I'm actually going to defer to you because I need a little bit more time to stew on this one, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the hot potato in your hand.
I'll
Who
take
you got
that.
going into this one?
I'll take that potato. And while you're doing that, get the betting lines up for this one too, because I am curious where the line sits on this one. I'm actually gonna go with the upset. It's gonna be the Houston Texans. Uh, I think people are underestimating. Look, and this is from two people, or at least for me, at least my side. I'm picking the Texans. And we've been high on the Baltimore Ravens all season, preseason. You can
All
check the
season.
tape. We knew this was a playoff team. We made fun of people for not wanting Lamar Jackson, and now people are making fun of the same exact thing. Lamar Jackson. And shout out to Teacher Talking Sports. We're not the only YouTuber that pointed out that Lamar Jackson was going to be that guy. It was so obvious. This was not
Obvious.
even a bold take. We didn't count it as a bold prediction
It
because it
was just a
seems it's
fact.
like, oh, Pat Mahomes is going to be good. No, no kidding, Sherlock. Here we
Really?
are,
You
and
don't
that's
say?
and look, that defense of the Baltimore Ravens is no joke.
Dude, they almost look
That's
like an all time kind of a team all the way around the board, dude. Like that's a team you could get on Madden like a few years. Like you can pick them Ravens. Good night. Go ahead. I'm sorry. They're that good though. Yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
they really no. You're exactly right though, because Lamar Jackson is the natural scary thing on offense, right? But this defense is so underappreciated. It is like you don't have the Ray Lewis or the Suggs just lighting up the names on the defense like it is, but A to Z on that defense are hitters. I don't know how Baltimore does it. They always it is that typical Baltimore defense that you just truly have grown to appreciate over the last couple decades it's been now.
Mm,
We going on 2.5 decades of the Baltimore Ravens having an elite defense. And it's that defense that's really truly scaring me and not just the likely MVP guy, Lamar Jackson. But I mean, how do you watch CJ Stroud do what he does against the Browns? The Browns have a defense too.
the
Okay.
same defense that Lamar struggled against,
Mm.
might I
Yeah.
add.
Anybody would struggle against. Like I was actually kind of worried about playing the Browns
Packers, yeah.
as a
Packers
Chiefs
owns the
fan.
Browns.
Yeah. I
The
mean,
Browns are like the Broncos for Packers. It's just the other team in his back pocket, right next to
yeah.
the Chargers.
Well, and you're dealing with Joe Flacco too, and Mahomes finally has a defense as well. He's finally
Right,
he's finally out here with the other side of the ball, which he's not. It's confusing for him. He doesn't know what that means.
right. And you know what, Mr. Casey, I'm literally right there with you. I'm taking the Texans too. We talked about big trust all year and everything, and like I said, the Ravens are still legit, probably the scariest team left in the postseason. I will still give
Mhm.
them that credit. But dude, the way these Texans are playing and the way CJ Stroud is lighting it up, um, I I can see him winning this game. I don't think the moment's too big for him. Like I said, because he went to a great college where he's been on the biggest stages.
Mhm.
He's played in front of thousands and thousands
A
of people.
hundred
Like
thousand people.
the moment's not too big for CJ Stroud. Like he's ready for this moment. Um, and I want to see it like what we talked about here on the off channel. I said, dude, a Texans Chiefs championship game, dude. And with
Mhm.
the backstory behind that, Kansas City used to be the Chiefs used to be in Texas and all that. Jim
And you
Van
got the
Belly
young guy.
Bands,
You got the young
man.
guy
And
going against
you
the
get
potential goat.
you get who's probably the real prince going against the king now. Because I think
Mm.
C.J. Stroud might actually be the prince. He won the South. Android 17. I got to knock you down. I thought you was the prince that was promised, but it looks like you might not have been. I think it's C.J. Stroud. He, like I said, I've been hounding, but we've been talking about. I said, bro, in a matter of maybe a year or two, he's going to be undoubtedly. I keep saying it, the second best quarterback in the league, undoubtedly. Like I said, dude, it's the Texans. It's just them. It's C.J. Stroud. It's all these rookie skill players. It's D'Amico Ryan. It's their moment to get this kind of
Mm.
shine and to show the world for next season that they're probably going to be the AFC South favorites. And now you got to throw them into that top AFC 5-16 contenders that we think who just automatically in the dance.
Right. When you start mentioning the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Bills, you're probably gonna have to say the Texans
Yeah,
and the Ravens. Like the Ravens
because
are
we
still that's what's making this game so great is knowing both these teams. This should not be the last time we see this playoff matchup either. I,
exactly.
I don't believe it. I would have trouble believing this is the last time we see a Texans Ravens playoff game. I'll put it to you that way.
Exactly. Especially because all these other teams are in rebuild mode. Really, I still think the
Mm.
Browns are going to be in dire straits because the quarterback situation will remain unresolved. Pittsburgh will continue to try to get better, but it's just they need some more skilled players and not enough capital for that. And you look at the AFC West, only the Chiefs are contenders. Every other team is in blow up mode, which is what we talked about before the beginning of the season. And shout out to us again because we knew it needed to happen. So maybe we'll become more competitive again as far as the division. And then you look at the South, and really, if Jacksonville, I don't know what they're going to do with the coaching thing, and if that crumbles, you're looking at the Texans and maybe the Colts because the Colts are still right
Mm.
there, and we still got to see what Richardson's going to do coming back from injury. But from the sample size we've seen, he can ball. So
Yeah.
this is not like a unsure like a Trey Lance situation where you're unsure if he can still ball or not. But he should have got time in the playoff game, and they should have just sat Dak down and let him play. See what you got for the future. But um, anywho, that's a whole nother story. But
What
we're
what's
definitely
the
in
line
agreement.
on this? What's the line on the game?
Money line Texans plus 340 for this one.
340. Jeez. How big of what's the spread? What are we looking at? How big of underdogs are we?
9.5.
9.5. They're
Mm-hmm.
spotting the Texans 9.5. Man, I don't
That's
know.
why I
That
said
almost feels
they
that
think the
feels like a
Ravens
trap.
gonna crush them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this feels like a trap almost. I don't know. This feels dangerous. Like nine and a
But
half is such a spread. That is crazy. I wouldn't have guessed it was that big of a spread. Like they
oh,
really are confident in these Baltimore Ravens. They're begging for some money on the man. I don't know. They might be trying to sell that used car a little too much on the Texans too. I think they might be enticing people to take that. To take that. I mean, 9.5.
yeah,
Look, I'm even if the Ravens, even if you think the Ravens will win, 9.5. You think they're going to win by 10? You think they'll
that's
really
all.
win it by 10? Look, if
Right.
you're gonna, I might. I'm not normally a spread guy, but I might look at some alternative spreads there. I might look and see what you give me for like over under on 13.5. You know what I mean? You might be giving up a lot to get some extra points on the Texans, but you might get a surefire little win there.
Man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like I said, just looking at it's crazy. But I mean, it's not surprising because I mean, we all know how dangerous Baltimore is. Like I said, MVP likely and all that stuff. You know, they're considering all the factors, and uh, I still think that's a huge gap. I think that gap is way too big for one. But because the Texans, like I said, besides the Rams, they're the hottest team in the NFL. So
Right.
I'm still, I'm still going to Texas. I put a small unit on the steal.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, they'll pay
Turn them
off if
10 into
they do win.
$44.
Right.
You
They,
know? Shoot.
yeah, that's usually that's big money there.
That's what I'm
It's got
saying.
potential.
Yeah, so that's what we got for that. Like I said, you can play around with that parlay, but I just do the straight money line on that. Like I said, just small unit if you got it. But if you're really confident you got enough for a bigger unit, then put it on there. Because I I
Yeah,
don't even think
mine.
this is an upset alert. I just really think the Texans can win this game. So
Right. Yeah, I think
that's
the Texans will win outright, but with a 9.5 spread, I'd look for an alternative line and see what kind of betting are you going to give me for like a plus 13.5, a plus 14.5. Like what if we say you got to win by more than 2 touchdowns? Like what kind of line are you giving
right.
me on that? Because if you think it's 10, a 14-point line ain't going to be too terrible either. It's not going to be great betting odds, but tell me that's
No.
not an absolute lock. Like 2 touchdowns, feel comfortable about it.
See, yeah,
That
I
might
gotta
I
put
might be
this.
placing a few units. This might be one of those games that gets a few units on like a plus 17.5 spread for the Houston Texans. It'll be a low payout, but it'll be what I feel like is guaranteed money. So sometimes I'll do that where I just give my little 20% back.
Right. Oh man. No, I feel you on that. Dude, I just messing around with this thing. I done found the snippet app on this computer. Just shout out to technology, folks. The more you mess with it, this will make it easier for me to put these pictures up on our Twitter. By the way, if you haven't started following yet, please follow it. You can see it down in the ticker yonder. Um, let's move on to the next game, Mr. KC. We're both in agreement here on the Texans. The next game, which I will peg as the only upset of the weekend here, it's the Saturday night game. It is Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers versus the San Francisco 49ers. And this is your upset alert notification of the week, ladies and gentlemen. I missed, I guess you could say, on the Rams, even though it was so close. So I'll take it on the chin, but I nailed everything else. I mean, right on the head. This is the weekend. Jordan Love, like I said, cements his place as a contender in the NFC, and Green Bay will have to be one of those teams to be talked about, especially after what they've done to Dallas. Dallas shouldn't automatically be assumed to be in one of those top three positions. Neither should Philadelphia, by the way. I got big comments on that in a further game when we get further down on that. But in this game, I'm going Packers. I think Jordan Love is ready for the moment and is bigger. And I still don't think that Brock Purdy's that guy. I still don't feel it. This is the egg moment that I've been telling y'all is coming. We've seen the first one, and now here comes the next dip. Mr. KC.
I'm it's people should know by now that I have the 49ers going to the Super Bowl. This is this is better than that bye week they just had. This is I can't believe they really got gifted the Green Bay Packers in a playoff game. Like you come off a bye and you get another bye. Like how's that fair? How is this? The NFL needs to be investigated
All this
in
means
how
that
this
they got
became
rust
a
on the
fair matchup.
tires. They got to kick that rust off the tires. CMCH, whatever the boy acronym is, might end up hurt because we know what happened when he get built up on his tread. We don't know what happens gonna happen with Brock Purdy or Debo. That's the danger of coming off a bye. And, did you say something similar about Dallas being gifted Green Bay last week? And didn't they get the ultimate gift?
I mean, but
So
yeah, but that's
I guess there is a present waiting for San Fran. So yeah, you're right. What a gift.
yeah. Well, thankfully, if you did not catch it earlier, Do with a Beard did gift the Packers the excellent curse of his Super Bowl pick. So it is all coming into fruition. This will be the game where Brock Purdy gets a little respect on his name at least. You might be in a slight Jordan Love predicament like I was to Brock Purdy out there. Because he's
Brock
look,
Purdy better than Jordan Love.
probably not actually. I'm actually watching that
Thank
Jordan
you.
Love
That's
Cowboys
all I
game.
wanted to hear. Okay.
I said probably not. Does Jordan Love have a better team though? No,
Definitely not.
no,
Definitely not.
not even
No.
close.
But they didn't have a better team than Dallas either. They didn't have a better team than
They
Kansas
didn't.
City.
They I
They
wanted.
didn't
I
have a
wanted.
better team than a lot
Mm-mm.
of these dudes they done beat. But their defense is sneaky good, and their skill
It's
players
better.
can make big plays. And the running backs are studs. So you want to talk about playoffs and running backs? This dude Aaron Jones is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's a
Well, so
touchdown machine. So I can see him getting all through the gutter that San Fran defense, especially say coming off all that time off, stretching
mm,
and rusty. You coming against a well-oiled machine that's primed and ready. I mean, and roaring. I mean, like they're firing on all cylinders right now. So it
right.
should be good. But like I said, I see so much similarity between those two defenses. I would not be surprised if Jordan Love take off on them either. Just like how he took off on Detroit. Like I said, the Green Bay got a real shot to make it to the bowl. And we'll talk about that after the next game because uh, they've already beat the Lions once, but that's a whole nother story. So big ups to Jordan Love and big respect. I'll take that Chiefs Packers Super Bowl I've been waiting on to have
Mm,
the original rematch so we can take care of that blemish
yeah, I'd like that
and
for
a
the
rematch
Chiefs.
from this year too. Like I said, anything it's gonna be a revenge Super Bowl. It's got to be a rematch Super Bowl between us and they're the only
49ers.
team left over there besides
What is
Detroit. You got to be
what
one of
was
them.
what was the spread on that game? Like, it's got to be more than 9.5.
It's 9.5.
That one's
Same,
9.5 too.
same as the Texans. I'm telling you,
That's just
same.
so disrespectful to the Texans. Like, I feel like the Texans have a better chance
How
at beating the Baltimore Ravens. Like, I thought the Texans
that
was upset of the week. I thought that
that's
was a lot. Like,
no. Mr. K, that's
it
just got something to do with your 49er bias. That's all that
could be.
is.
But just
I know we've been on record saying they're almost Chiefs of the NFC, but they got to win
that's your
too.
quote. That's your
And
quote
then
too, by the way.
huh?
That's your quote too, by the way. Like just
Yeah,
so
I know.
folks know.
I know we've said it,
Yeah,
but I'm letting
not
the
we. I know who
reality. But
created.
that was
I,
with
I, I
but
give
I said that when they had Jimmy G though. I
you
didn't say
did.
that when they had Brock Purdy.
And you dropped that title since old Brock Purdy took over. In all
Exactly.
fairness.
Right.
We'll tip your hat at that. But I just wanted folks to know that you're the one that created that quote, and I was a big fan of the quote. I was like, that's pretty spot on there. Sign me up, write this one down. We can write this one. We got a few
I
good
even
quotes
think
out here.
I think even Frank liked that one. Shout out to Big Frank at the Cinema Store
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
Yeah, our
Do with a
resident
beard.
49er.
Oh, do with a beard. 316 said, "Thou shall San Francisco be the Kansas City Chiefs of the West of the NFC." Like
Right.
that's just how the book was written.
But what like what they say that's pre-Purdy Testament. If we got to
That
boil it
was-
down like that, the pre-Purdy
we in
Testament.
the New
That
Testament.
was the book of Jimmy
Yeah,
G.
and look, there's going to be a lot of arguments, and I'm be real upset that I doubled down on not getting this right. Like I really was hoping to get it right. So here, I hope it is.
He should be real upset if I double down. We're gonna see. But yeah, they got them 350 on the Packer money line. But like I said, 9.5 spread on that thing, and
Yes.
I'm putting some units on the pack too. So
Yeah, you
it
calling
should
that a
be a
double
fortuitous
dog
weekend.
Saturday? You got double dog Saturday for you, double underdog
I'm
Saturday.
trying to
It could
tell you.
happen. It could happen, folks.
I'm trying to tell you, the Mud Dogs need to win the Bourbon Bowl. That's all
Mm,
we need. That's all we need. Shout out to Canada Dry Ginger Ale. Uh, but yeah, that's what we need, man. Small unit on that one. I would even give a fancy parlay as far as just Watson getting a touchdown, Christian Watson, as far as skill players. Just like how I did the bet last week, I was saying, remember the Chiefs winning just one thing with Rasheed Rice scoring? Boom, that's your bet. And if anybody placed it and listened to me, you got some money off of it. You're welcome. I'm 6, 1 of 1. You got to do it.
right, and you might even I'd throw a half unit on that parlay. Like I wouldn't be afraid of that. Get you a little
Right.
double dog Saturday. You trying to pay some bills with that one. Like, jeez. We call
Oh,
that Christmas in February right there.
man, I'm trying to tell you, this is my pre-parade package, is what we call that.
Yeah,
Get
right.
that ready. um, Ladies and gentlemen, next game we got here, moving into the Sunday slate of shows, not of shows, but of games, same thing, all the same. It's on your Peacock network again. Peacock making a comeback with the football again. And we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Detroit Lions. And because these are Mr. KC's guys, well, Baker's his guy and Detroit's his other love, I'm gonna let him go first and let him talk to us about it real quick before I give my pick. Mr. KC, regale us, my man.
As a father of just one kid, I only have one. Always wondered what this question would be like if I had more than one kid. And that's which kid do you like better? You know?
Woo.
I was always wondering, like, does a parent really have choices? In one aspect, I got my home, my new home area team. Is where I live now. Is not my team, but
Right.
it's always fun when you hear some shenanigans. When you hear nobody's a Tampa Bay Bucks fan, but um,
Not since
like
'02 and Warren Sapp. Shout out to Derek
yeah,
Brooks and Rondé Barber. My guys.
Yeah. See, the problem is in Florida, everybody's from somewhere else. Okay, so nobody's actually a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. The only one I ever met also had cowboy stickers on his truck. So that's all I'm going to say. And tells you everything you need to know.
So it's like nobody's born in Tampa Bay. People just moved there.
Yeah, yeah. There's no, yeah. No. I've met more Chiefs
Oh, that's
fans
hilarious.
in Tampa than I have real Bucks fans. I'll put it to you that way.
That I can believe. I can believe that.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it's with a broken heart, and I apologize, Baker. But Jerry Golf, Jerry Golf is my favorite. Look, I've been having my little. This is a 2 year love song. Okay, everybody
It
knows.
is.
Like everybody knows, Jason or Travis Kelsey hollered at Taylor Swift. But what you might not know is I've been hollering at the Lions for a year and 2 years now.
Outside, and legend, I always say he's been outside in the rain, trench coat with the boom box outside their window. I would
Mm,
say Mr. KC has been at least 7 of 10 toes down with these lines.
yeah,
At
it's
least.
solid. Yeah, maybe six, but a real it could be a very solid seven. Like I'm not, I'm not from Detroit, and I'll poop on the
Right.
city any chance I get. But
Any
it's only
chance.
because I've been there. I'm allowed to. Like if you've been there, you know why. You
Right.
know if you're from Detroit, you know why I'm talking shit. It ain't. It's not offensive. It's an
Man, but
accurate
it's true.
description. It's like, look.
Man.
mm, mm. But look, Jared Goff, man, look at look what he did. He beat Matthew Stafford. You know what he did? He did what Matthew Stafford could never do. Matthew Stafford could win a Super Bowl, but you know what he couldn't do? Give
Win
the
in
Detroit
Detroit.
Lions a playoff win or an appearance. Can't even go to the game and win it. Can't even go there and win a game. That's what he can't do. Not one. You can't get
Man.
one playoff win with the old guy that don't matter no more. Stafford. Stafford's
Man.
his name. Yeah, I almost forgot
Dude,
his.
the way Calvin Johnson was looking, he's like, man, I'm about to come out of retirement and play with Jared Goff now.
Mm,
Didn't he? Didn't he have that
mm.
going? I was like, boy, I got a few more in me.
Said, I did retire early for this
Right.
moment. I'm
For this
still
moment, I'm still
under
under
contract.
contract. Right,
I'm still.
exactly. I'm still under contract. Let's do it. Oh my
Mm,
God! If Detroit goes to the Super Bowl, Megatron better come out and play in the game. I swear on my
I bet
soul.
it. I
Good night.
bet he thinks
Or even
about it
the
at
champ,
least.
even if you make it to the NFC Championship game, Calvin
That
Johnson, sir,
immediately.
you need to come
Immediately.
play. I need to send him that on Twitter right now too, Sir Calvin Johnson. Please,
Please.
Megatron.
Right.
Calvin, what are you doing, sir? Can we get you back for just one game,
So
please?
who are you going in this game? Before we I don't want to skip over your picks.
Hold on one second.
No, you're
I gotta
fine.
send a live
You
message to
gotta, hey,
Megatron.
right. He needs to know we thinking about him at least. Look,
I'm gonna
uh,
tell you, Calvin, you on my mind, Calvin.
right.
Man,
Look, teacher, we need a Calvin Johnson Forgotten Athlete Friday because we just miss him. Okay, we understand
man,
he's
yeah,
not forgotten,
teach,
but we miss
please,
him. We miss
please
him.
make a promise, please make a
I know
promise.
it ain't happening, but
Um,
I understand the rules. But we'd appreciate it, Megatron.
we do it. Even if it's just the special bowl edition shout out, Megatron appreciation post. Uh, but dude, I'm going with the Lions too. Um, I think Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers making it there ain't no mistake. I think this
Mhm.
game will be tighter than expected. I don't think it'll be a blowout win, but I think that the Lions get it done here. Give Detroit something else to celebrate. And it's only 6.5 spread on this one. So even Vegas thinks it's going to be semi tight.
I,
Um,
mm,
I got the Lions for all the reasons uh, because you basically. Mr. KC sold me on the Lions. He beat Pat this year, so anything's possible. And that's why we're going to see the Lions and the Packers in the NFC Championship game because it's going to be another rematch game, like I'm saying. and they both beat Patrick Mahomes. It's going to be the triple rematch because either one of them's going to have to see Pat again in the Super Bowl and lose there.
Yeah. Yeah, and if I was a Lions fan, I'd feel real comfortable with that 6.5 point spread too. By the way, like I just if I felt like this game deserves a 9.5 point spread if one of them did. Jeez, but
Man, you would think.
these are some kind of big spreads for some playoff games, and that's kind of shocking to me, especially as close and competitive as I really think they should be.
Right. No, understandable. And you would think that the spread would be bigger, but if you look at how the Buccaneers absolutely trashed the Eagles, I wouldn't have made that spread too much bigger either. Because, for one, if Godwin just starts playing like he was playing last week, it could the coin could flip. I still think Baker got as far as like just comparing quarterback talent. Jared Goff's by far the better quarterback, but it's just something about when Baker's in crunch and when he's got to throw that deep ball, and he lets it go better than anybody. When it comes to that, I like his ability to make big plays. Not saying that Goff can't do it, but he's definitely better when playing with a lead and when the run is good and everything like that. Um, I'm still going Detroit, but like I said, it could be a good game, a real close one too. Like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if they lost, but I'd be more shocked if they lost. You know what I mean? Double negative on that. Shocking
Right.
either way.
Yeah, I'm right there
So
with you.
with that in mind, that's probably the only game I'm not betting on. I leave that one alone completely. As far as putting money on it, um, I don't think it's too much of a lock for that one.
I
And the
mean,
money's not
it's
big enough for to just do a unit on for a risky bet.
right. Yeah, I feel you there. There's no money to be a Lions better really, unless you're doing the spread where you're giving them, you got to win by a touchdown, which is
Right,
always. I don't like to be the winning team that's got to win by a touchdown. Like
right. I
I
just
like
rather
that.
win.
Yeah, if I'm taking points, I want it to be the underdog, and you're giving me extra points. It's like, all right, well,
Right,
you want to, you think you can win by a touchdown? Beat me by two then. You that confident?
right,
Let's put your money up.
right,
That's the only time I like taking points.
right. I don't blame you because it's almost a sure thing. Or it's a higher percentage, I'll say. And nothing sure, but higher
Right.
percentage always. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on here to what's going to be the game of the weekend. The highly touted, broadcasted, the the fourth consecutive year in a row media Super Bowl champion Buffalo Bills will host the actual NFL champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. If you didn't see the actual champions, something Buffalo can never have. They could never sell these because it would not be real. Um,
Oh, well, watch
yeah,
out! Watch out! Watch out!
yep,
Behind
yep,
you!
yep,
Watch
yep. Oh,
behind you!
oh,
Oh no! Oh
oh,
no!
oh. Are those
Oh,
banners?
sorry, sorry. I was
Oh,
confused. It's a
oh, yeah.
championship flag.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
that what it
yeah.
is, Buffalo?
Two of them
Look,
actually.
two.
I've become a collector as we've been collecting.
A
I've been
collector, huh?
collecting. Yeah,
Uh,
because we're
hmm.
collecting things that actually exist in reality here, and not in the media, in the mainstream sports media verse, where Josh Allen is always the MVP. The Bills have won four straight Super Bowls. Um, he's the perennial front runner for just if you were drafting a team today, if you didn't pick Josh Allen, you got to be crazy. At least that's the narrative. But in reality, we have the greatest quarterback that anybody's ever seen. Even we've seen Tom Brady and everybody, no one has still done what Patrick Mahomes has done and continues to do. Even though he's not going to win MVP this year, he still has better numbers than the guy who's going to win MVP. Like I said, I mean, if Patrick Mahomes wasn't as good of a quarterback as he was, then he'd be like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen because he'd run more. That stuff doesn't impress me too much. You got to do that to make your game complete because you're not as good as a quarterback. In this game, folks, y'all know where I'm going. It's almost not even no need to talk about it. Um, Project Pat in the playoffs, especially in this round. He's 7-0. We're going to continue the tradition of beating the Bills in the playoffs, moving that to what, to 4-0 now or 3-0? 3-0 in the playoffs, I believe. Josh Roller Coaster Allen. We'll see Trash Allen this weekend. We'll see the Trash Bills. We're probably going to blow them out.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think people are forgetting that the Chiefs Bills game earlier in the season, the Bills won. They won because Kadarius Toney was offside. It was stupid, stupid penalties. And look, that was a close game, and the Chiefs were not playing very good. Not to add, you're talking about playoff playbook Andy Reid. And I tell you what you don't want to see is playbook Andy Reid in the playoffs. Because it's something you ain't never seen before. You're getting something different. The Bills defense is taking hits. This isn't even the same defense from the last game. They have no pass rush. They have no ability to get to MVP Pat. Besides maybe Ed Oliver. Like if we're gonna be, we'll give Oliver his flowers. He's decent, but you're talking about the interior of the Kansas City offensive line, which is the nicest part of it.
Best part.
There's so much that you're trying to depend on for the Bills to be successful in this game. Look, their height. You finally get your home game. You finally get your
You
home
fight,
game.
the world gets what they've been waiting on. Josh Allen in the home game and Project Pat on the road. And I think that
Ooh,
not to cut you off, Miss Kid, but playoff Project Pat is probably going to be so dangerous. They're going to hope they never have to see it again. Because like this, I could understand if this moment was too big for Patrick Mahomes, but it's not. Like this is I'm a snow game guy. This is probably about to be dancing in the snow. Doing he was singing it last week without any disregard. Like he's unaffected by the elements. Uh, it should be nasty. I'm sorry, Mr. Casey. Go ahead.
yeah.
It's
I mean,
painful with Josh Allen.
it's really wild to me. What's the spread on this game? I know it's going to be the closest. It's probably a
Uh,
3-point game.
Yeah, they got the Buffalo Bills favored by 3 right now. The Chiefs are the underdog, which I
Yeah,
love.
Chiefs are the underdog. Look, you get some dogs on Sunday. You get your
I'm trying
dog
to tell
pick.
you.
Look, and the only reason you give Bills 3 is because they're at home. The column is a coin toss. Vegas says, "Look, we don't know either.
Right,
We'll let y'all throw some money on this,
right,
and we'll decide the line by that."
right.
It's kind of what they're doing here. And I do not like the Bills' odds in this. It's just got Josh Allen has Captain Meltdown written all over him. The
We're getting
Steelers, the Steelers, no offense to the Steelers, they were not a great football team. Still made the
no,
playoffs.
no,
Still made the
but
offs.
and their win and the Bills win wasn't too impressive on what they did, and they were still missing people, offense and defense. Like I said, there's nothing impressive about the Bills. Like I
Yeah.
don't see how people they try to disregard Kansas City's win over a team that's considerably better than the one that Buffalo played, and like we didn't blow them out. Like it was really they really didn't score. I mean, we know they got 7, but they really didn't even score. Dude. Like looking at these Bills and the defense that we're going to be bringing in there, I don't see it happening for them. I see a lot of turnovers on their end because Josh Allen loves to fumble. I see a couple pick sixes, and I think
Yeah.
Pat's probably going to go for at least 340 through there, maybe 3 touchdowns.
I don't know
I
if
think
he
this.
has to.
I
I
I
don't
don't think
know.
he has to, but Andy Reid will still air that thing out because we saw it last week. They thought it was going to be a run heavy game. He said, "No, we're going to air it out because can't they won't be able to stop us." You know what I mean? These plays that I've dreamed of. Like I said, Andy Reid probably having nightmares. These plays be so good. He got to wake up. Oh my god! In a cold sweat, writing down like that's a touchdown. Oh my god! If I've ever seen one, like you know what I mean?
It's like that plays so good. That plays so damn good. I deserve a cheeseburger.
I deserve a treat. Wake his wife up. Go to the kitchen. You need a burger. I need a burger.
I need a Like
Matter of fact,
I
hold on, I'm feeling another one. Make it a double. I'm
making
feeling
it
something
double.
else coming.
Mm.
Oh,
'Cause I seen it. This is the game-winning play against the Bills, and actually, I really, I really don't think it's going to be a super close game. This is not a field goal game. I think the Chiefs
mm.
win by a touchdown, maybe even two. I could
I
see this
think
becoming a kind of a blowout.
35-14,
Mm.
if that. And the
Yeah,
fourth, and that last seven is a garbage time seven, like
because if
early
you,
first quarter. I mean, early fourth quarter when it won't matter.
I think if you look at that last playoff game, I think it showed you that Andy Reid knows what he has in Rice. He's like, okay, and I kind of underplayed. I think he's might have been sandbagging Rice for a good chunk of that second half of the season, just knowing that, like, all right, once the
I'm gonna
playoff
unleash you.
comes, unleash him. And he
And
showed up.
what are they gonna do? Because I saw something that scared me tremendously today. Sky Morton came off the IR,
Mm.
and
I
I
think
just
Tony did
hope and
too.
I pray to the good Lord that he's not doing nothing. I just hope that he does nothing. Like nothing, absolutely nothing. Like we need to keep, and if anything, Hardman proved last week that you need to go ahead and let Justin Ross play because only Watson and Rice was making plays. Uh, I think,
Yeah.
I mean, and Blake Bell, I think it's fair enough to say that. Like, give this man a shot, please. Because at least when you do throw him the ball, he catches it. McCole Hardman
Mhm.
don't even know when to look up for the ball. It's just, and then, anyway, it's always something with this dude every game. So I'm
Yeah.
just, that experiment was done. You should have brought him back. And we said year one. Well, I said year one, but I believe you co-signed on it. This guy more experiment been done. Like
Yeah.
I don't see the need for this. Like cut this guy. Like what are we doing here? So he has no trade value, but we'll see, man. Because I think reluctantly they're going to stick with Kadarius Toney, just like I said, because the deal is so good and they got him for so long. Hopefully they
Yeah.
draft another dude, but I'm forecasting. But we'll see after they win this bowl what happens. Maybe he's the Super Bowl hero again. Who knows? But goodness gracious. Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah. I think Kadarius Tony's got. Just use him for some trick play stuff. Some
Yeah.
gadgety stuff, and just get
The
him.
stuff
Get
that you
him.
want to do with Sky Moore, do it with Kadarius Tony. Jet
Yeah.
sweep, little bubble screen where he can just kind of zigzag and get out of there, and don't throw nothing too deep.
Right.
Because it seems like
Exactly.
unless you Watson, can't nobody else catch the deep ball.
And it doesn't
But
make
we're
any
both.
sense.
All I know is after we get this last Super Bowl, MVS will be gone, never to darken our doorway again. We've survived
Mm.
that. At least I would almost say that. No, I will say it. Sammy Watkins was a better wide receiver than
Oh, for sure.
MVS ever was for us. Even though he
Oh,
might end up winning another bowl with us. Like, but
for,
good night. Like that just shows you how low the bar is for Chiefs wide receivers outside of Rasheed Rice right now.
exactly. Well, folks, that is our divisional round picks. Little talks, a few bets for you. You see this phone number right here. This is our call in text line. If you've got a hot message, you can call in, leave a voicemail, or text in your hot take. If you think we got something wrong, don't be afraid to throw it in there, and we'll throw it into the next episode and let you. We'll discuss it a little bit.
Right, we'll talk about it.
We'll
And
just
as
talk.
always, we appreciate y'all for coming through. And like you said, if you got a comment, make sure you leave it. Got a message, make sure you leave it. If you got a Twitter, make sure you follow. But either way, we're going to be right back here with more action, more news, more information. This is the Bold Prediction Sports Media Podcast. Mr. KC, I'm the dude with the beard.
Gotcha. Go Chiefs!